You're good.
He's the start of it.
Welcome back here to Up North at 4. We got Jen and Rich joining us now to talk about the 29th annual Great Northern Jerky Contest. Rich, 29 years in the books, well, soon to be 29 years in the books. This thing started all the way back before my time in the early 1990s. And you were one of the brainchilds? Is that,
I don't know if you call it brainchild or not, but
but you were helping kind of create this thing
together.
right, yeah.
So how did this whole contest come to be?
We had about 4 or 5 couples used to come up and spend a long weekend at the Gateway in the winter just to get away for a while. And I was making jerky at the time, and I'd bring it up, so a couple of the other guys decided they were going to make it, and then it got to where we'd sit around the pool at the Gateway and argue as to whose was best.
Who was the better, yeah.
So one night we're arguing about it, and I looked at my wife, and I told her, I says, you know what? Let's have a contest. Let's see if we can get one going.
Okay.
29 years later, here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And Jen, this thing has good intentions, right? It raises money for some pretty good causes. What are they?
So over the years, we've raised money for the Conover Fire Department. We've also raised money for the Snowmobile Club. The charity that has been the most popular, the most long-running, is Warm the Children, and that is through the Vilas County News Review. So the money goes to provide warm clothing for needy children in our area.
Very nice. And so, Jen, obviously you're here on behalf of Club 45 over in Conover, and you guys just recently kind of helped take the reins of this a few years ago in terms of hosting the event. How did you guys kind of get involved?
So we had Rich and his family and friends, you know, had always come up on Klondike Days weekend. So it was they were at the Gateway, and then someone suggested that they come over to our establishment. And so within the last 5 years, we've taken it over with the help of other friends and running the jerky contest.
We love it. All right,
Yes.
Rich, so, you know, 29 years into this, what's the secret to a good jerky?
Well, I tell you what, I've never won it, so I don't really have the secret. Now, my wife did once years ago.
Okay.
But, and I've come in second a couple times. But when I was doing the managing of it and running it all myself, I didn't get in it. So I give myself that excuse that there was quite a few years where I wasn't entering. But I think, I'm not sure exactly what the secret would be, because the quality of the meat makes a difference. The type of marinade you use makes a difference. And I'm constantly changing mine from time to time. And so are a lot of other people, judging by the taste. And I can tell you I've had a lot of bad jerky in the last 29 years.
There is some bad jerky out there, believe it or not.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't jerky very hard to make? I mean, at least make it well, from what I've been told. I could be wrong on that.
I've never made it myself, so.
Of course, I'm the wrong one to ask, because I think mine is always good.
Of course.
Well, I think it walks that line, though. If it's too tough, it gets too chewy, and you can't.
Yeah,
then
right.
You can put too many ingredients in it as well, and have it be kind of.
You can over-sweeten or overheat it.
Or too spicy sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes it's too dry, sometimes it's too, you know.
There's a fine line.
So this is perfect, because it, it lets people know what is the perfect jerky.
Well, a lot of it
Find
is
that lane.
in the timing, of your drying and how you dry it and how long. And you got to keep an eye on it. You can give it so many hours, and then you got to start watching it, because it's not all cut to the same consistency. So some of it is done maybe an hour or two before the rest of it. So
It's like a fine wine, Nate.
You got to kind of watch it. Yes, right.
I've often said that, Jeff. I was like, when I'm eating beef jerky or whatever type of jerky, I'm like, man, I'm just thinking about a nice, nice fine wine.
A good wine
nice
to go with it.
Exactly.
But what was your judging criteria? Wasn't it if you could have it with you in the boat or in the?
If you can, how did it go now? If you can imagine yourself eating this all day long, sitting alone in the cold, and not having any problem swallowing it or chewing it, or et cetera, then it's a pretty good jerky.
Whether you're in the ice shack or the hunting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or whatever, or in the boat.
That's about as.
It is a perfect snack. It really is.
As
It
it
is,
gets.
yeah.
All right, we got a little bit more time, and do you guys want to stick around for a bit, and we can chat more about jerky and the jerky contest?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Great. We're going to do that, though, after the break here on Up North at 4. Stick with us.
Don't leave us.
Welcome on back to Up North at 4. We're joined by Jen and Rich to talk about the Great Northern Jerky Contest. 29th annual, started all the way back in the early 90s, and it has grown since
Yes.
then. Rich, so you said this when this thing whole started, it was 4 or 5 couples, right? So what,
Right.
10 people roughly, give or take.
Right.
And now, how many people are you thinking are going to be signing up to have their meat get judged?
Well, it's always hard to know, especially since COVID. COVID
Fluctuated a
dropped a
little,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's building back up slowly. But at our peak, we were averaging in the 40s, 40, 45 entries.
That's a lot.
jerky.
That's a lot of
And you
jerky.
already have your judges picked out.
Especially if you're a judge. It's a lot.
We have our
Yeah.
judges, and we also, it's very competitive. We have several, for bragging rights and everything else. So we've had several, we've had multi-generational winners that compete within their own family and with, mothers and sons and that kind of thing. And the one other thing that we've added was in honor of Rich's late wife, Nancy. We call it the People's Choice Awards. So people
Okay.
basically put their money in for which one they like best. And that just ups our funds going to warm the children. So
This seems like a good gig to get. Like, I mean, I judge Beefarama every year, and you did with me this past
this
year. And
past
it's like,
year, yeah.
that's like the golden ticket, but this one,
Yeah, the silver ticket? Is that
silver ticket, we'll take
Silver
it.
ticket.
We'll
We'll have
take
to
it.
remember that.
I was I was glad you brought up Beefarama because I was thinking when you mentioned having 40, almost 50 entries. When I went to Beefarama, everyone's like, "You need to pace yourself. It is a lot of food to be consuming within
Right.
a 4, 5, 6 hour window." But when you're talking jerky and there's 40 to 50, that's got to add up pretty quick. How do you kind of stagger that a little bit?
Well, actually, we don't. We give the judges half hour or so
break.
to do their
Take a
judging.
break. Go.
And, yeah.
They have a
And
whole
we got
sheet,
a
score
pitcher
sheet.
full of water there. They can wash it down every now and then.
the
Or
palate cleanser.
This is
yeah.
serious judging, Nate. They take this
I know.
Very
seriously.
I
seriously.
know.
There's texture,
Yeah.
taste.
Yes,
Okay.
this is like
Heat
the Maple
level.
Syrup Festival in Phelps. This is like Beefarama. You take this seriously to find the right winner.
I do want to ask: does presentation get involved at all, or is it just here's the jerky, have at it?
well, what we do
We're
is
solely looking at
when
the
you register, we ask you when you bring your jerky in to bring it in a bag in bite-sized pieces.
Okay.
So that way the staff isn't involved with trying to get it prepared enough for the judging, and the judges, all they have to do is take a small piece
Okay.
and taste it. And the same with the People's Choice. It's all set up with
Yeah.
small pieces.
In honor of your wife, yeah.
In honor of my...
All right, they're all coming to your place.
Yes.
And you excited about that?
We're definitely excited. We own Club 45 in Conover. My husband Dave and myself and our children our children have been there less than 23 years, but we've been there 23 years.
Yeah.
We're on a small lake called Denton Lake, so we're 2 miles north of downtown Conover in a little loop in there, and it's a busy weekend up in Conover. There's a blizzard blast there as well on Saturday, and other events going on for the weekend. So we're ready for people to come in hopefully by snowmobile.
Yeah.
If you're going to promise us some snow.
There's some snow.
But
A little bit.
we definitely we have a small staff, but a dedicated staff, and we try to greet everybody with a smile and say, come on in and bring your jerky. And people like to come in and just hang out. And
Yeah.
So put this on your weekend plans
Yes.
because this is a good one. This is a
There's
good
no
one.
football, it's
Right.
Football's done.
And we have a feeling a lot of people will probably come by car. A lot of people will be up here for the 3-day weekend, President's Day weekend anyway. So there's a lot to do in the area, and hopefully people will come by snowmobile, but otherwise they can still come in, and I'll plug our menu, and they can come get a pizza or Italian beef and hang out with our customers and friends. So
Speaking of the menu, what's really good on there? What would you suggest?
Our biggest, probably our biggest seller is our Italian beef sandwiches and our deep dish pizza. We make a Chicago-style deep dish pizza.
Speaking my language.
Eagle Baking makes the dough. I know they were here on Up North 4th not that long ago, so I'll plug them too. But they make the dough, and we par bake it, and it's a true Chicago-style pizza.
Well, thank you for hosting this. This is great.
This is seriously.
Thank you.
I'm a little jealous that I wasn't asked to be a judge, and I'm kind of like wondering what I got to do to get on that
There's
list.
still time.
next
You
year.
can come up to Conover and see us.
All right. Well, I'm hoping by this time next year we'll have you on again. But then
Great.
Jeff and I are getting ready to judge the contest. Just nudge, nudge.
You can't
wink,
ask.
Wink.
You have to
I'm not
do that.
asking. I'm
Well,
not
we're counting
asking.
that as a commitment. So,
You just-
I'm just
Maybe
saying.
that
it
would be for the 30th, so that could be.
right.
Exactly.
You can host Up North 4 at.
All right, I'm clearing my calendar now.
Yeah. Put him on the spot that time. All right. Thank you guys, though, so much. We wish you the best
Thank
of luck
you.
with this whole event and raising some money for a great cause, obviously. And hopefully next year in the future, we're getting it bigger, and
Bigger and
we're going to be on it hopefully.
And
real
if
soon.
people
Yeah.
want to know, I think it says $15 for an entry. They get a T-shirt out of it, and they can enter up to 2 different kinds. We didn't talk about the categories.
Yeah.
It's beef and venison
Yes.
is one, and then other is wild game or any other
mystery meat.
mystery
Oh.
game. I think one of the biggest, we've had fish and duck jerky over the years.
We've had
We've
elk.
had bear.
Goose, bear.
So a lot
This
of
is so
Turkey.
interesting to
I
me.
know.
a lot of
I think
different
there's
varieties.
A
So
lot of
And,
strange.
and I'm sneaking a new one in this year.
oh,
Like rattlesnake.
Chicken.
oh, okay. I can get
that'll be
behind
interesting.
I can get behind that.
I've been playing with that for a few
She's like,
months.
really? You are?
I'm like,
I've been playing with that for a few months
he's
now. and
keeping that
it's
one. You're
very
keeping that
tasty.
one
Yeah.
on the back
Yeah.
burner.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on.
Thank you.
This has been a lot of fun. We're going to take a break, and Up North at 4 will be right back after this.